And welcome to Dare to Disagree, ladies and gentlemen, your weekly episodic podcast where we, a couple of regular Joes that know everything about everything, tell you guys how to live your life. I'm your host today, Jonathan Esther.
This is Alone in the Dark out here in beautiful, wonderful Colorado.
This is Puppet Master, living in the tropic. That's all I got.
That works.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be the host for today, unless we have surprise hosts showing up later. But anyway, let's kick it off immediately. I have a little bit of an explanation.
Oh, shit.
Now, this is for all y'all first world motherfuckers that can't seem to understand why third world countries can't just get their shit together. You guys are privy to something that is amazing. For all the shit we give a company like, say, Fox News, most of the population knows the bullshit that Fox News has. And even those that are on the side of Fox News have to admit that there's some shit that Fox News does that's bullshit. And the reason you guys can do that is because I don't know how I would describe it, but there's a great balance of power when it comes to information and the truth. Like, there's a lot of bullshit out there, but in America, if you want to know the truth, you can dig into information enough and get the truth, because you have libraries and, the internet and news organizations and outlets out of the country to get information about whatever you're looking about. Third world countries don't. Here's a few examples. On my Facebook wall, I'm still connected to a lot of African families.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's a bad habit I have. But anyway.
Man, if you ain't first, you're last. Why do you even care about them anymore?
Because technically they're still family. I just keep ties with them. But let me give you an example of two of the posts that I ran into my wall from quote-unquote news outlets in Africa, right? The first one...
Can I guess that at least one of them has something to do with witch doctors?
No, that's a shocking thing. 9 times out of 10 you'd be correct. For the first time ever, this has nothing to do with witch doctors.
Damn, okay.
The first one was a lady who I know, so I know it wasn't sarcastic, that posted about a news story about a lady giving birth to a slipper. Now, this sounds like a joke. It sounds like the pun for a joke. But I know this woman, and I know the mentality of third world countries. I guarantee you some people out there saw that news report and believe it wholeheartedly. And this was a, again, quote-unquote, African news source. The second one was of this this fruit that we have in Africa. I've had it before. It's actually, I forgot the name of it. It's I'll describe it. I'll see if maybe you guys know it. It's a green fruit, kind of almost like not a pear. It's a green bumpy fruit, and when you cut it open, it's white, and it's got almost white flesh that's really tasty.
Like
it has
guarana or
seeds.
something like that?
I guess so, but it's green and it's bumpy, almost spiky bumpy. But anyway, whoever knows the fruit knows what I'm talking about. If you don't, look it up, whatever. But somebody from another African news source posted a picture of this fruit, and African researchers discovering that this fruit has 10,000 times the cancer-killing ability of chemotherapy, but pharmacies won't tell it to you because they want to make the money off of the chemotherapy.
See, I could buy that story.
It was reading a book, and it was a big deal about apricot seeds having secret cancer-killing abilities.
Well,
And anti-cancer agents.
The reason this is not shocking to me is every couple of years, one of those stories comes out. People forget, but a little while ago, it was pomegranates. Pomegranates was the big thing. That's where the whole Palm Wonderful campaign and Palm Wonderful drink came from, where everybody was pushing pomegranate as, no, this thing has amazing agents that have been known to suppress cancer. Before that, it was acai.
I'm just gonna throw this out here, okay? Just pomegranates is my shit, so you better watch where the fuck you're treading right now.
Look, man.
You know what? Here, check it out. I'm more concerned. Not that she gave birth to a flip flop. What did she name? What did she name the damn thing? That's what I want to know. She named it like what? The clop sound that they make, kind of like, you know, throw a fork and it's like ding dong ding, and that's what you name a Chinese kid or something.
but I'm telling you this story. I'm telling you this story so that I can tell you my personal experience. Like, I remember growing up in my country, and a news outlet came on. Like, we only had one news channel, and it came on the news that they caught an alligator that was a witch, and they burned her. And their proof of it, by the way, they're showing the burning live. Their proof of it is, look, that alligator has a bra and panties on with lipstick, which it had a bra and panties on, and it looked like lipstick. And the story the news was saying was, this woman was the alligator was a witch that would hide under a bridge and open her mouth and swallow children and adults when they walked by. This is on the only news network the country has, and we don't have. This was pre-internet.
You know, I remember reading something about that. I think it was a goat, okay? And they burned him too because they said he was a witch who was snatching people's penises. Okay.
Burn the fuck out of that shit. Be on the safe side.
Pretty sure.
Man, I knew Jensen was on to something.
I'm pretty sure there was some guys out, you know, like, yeah, dude, you took my dick, you know, like, so, you know, there was some people saying, and I remember this because I was using it, because I got that friend of mine who, you know, she goes out there and studies African kids, and being that she's a really sweet lady, I try and talk her out of it, you know what I mean? So that was one of the things I was showing her, like, look at this shit, you know, this is what you're going out there to see.
This is what you want to go fuck with.
Look. What happened was they misunderstood the couple guys when they said that goat took my dick. They were fucking the goat. Somebody wasn't smart enough to figure that out and was like, shit, it's stealing dicks. We need to kill this motherfucker.
But here's the thing, man. That's just one of a bunch of anecdotes I have like that. Another one was, I remember when I was a kid, one of the, like, facts in my life was that if I took a picture of someone and
You steal their soul.
No, not that. If I took a picture of someone, put it in a jar full of, I don't remember whether it was water or milk, and put it in the corner of my house for a certain number of days, that person would die.
Damn.
This was gospel to me until like 10.
When he actually tried it.
Well, no. I've never been. I don't think you guys forget I'm black, so no, we don't.
He's like, I didn't have a fucking camera. Are you kidding?
We didn't have milk.
Fuck that shit. That whole testing scary theory shit, that's a white thing, man. I remember when I came to America and I first saw Candyman.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Never tried that shit. No tons of people that tried that shit. I was like, fuck that, that's your funeral.
Like, I'll tell you right now, that sounds silly, okay? But I clearly remember a grown man who grew up in the fucking U.S., okay? None of these, you know, crazy African witch doctor stories. Who one time I gave him a knife that was open, like a closing knife, and he went back to be open because he said if you close it, it will cut your relationship with that person.
Who told you that?
What? I mean, think about it, man. You have in this first world country, modernized internet, globe-savvy America we have, if you still have motherfuckers like that doing shit like that, what the fuck do you think these third world motherfuckers are dealing with? Now, even worse, could you imagine being one of the few, like, European or American educated third world people back in Africa dealing with that shit?
Yeah. Trying to tell guys he didn't take your dick, okay?
Yeah.
Well, he did, but he didn't.
Fucker. That's chlamydia. It wasn't a goat. It's chlamydia. Don't pass it off so that nobody knows. Don't lie to get yourself out of trouble.
Jesus,
Oh man.
I bet you in Africa, catching chlamydia is like winning prizes at the fucking fair, you know?
Did you guys hear about the shit with AIDS? What some people in
Oh yeah, in Wisconsin or something like that.
No, not in Wisconsin. This was in Africa. This was in like I know some people in Senegal were doing it, but there was some other stuff. Where like for a long time, one of the running rumors was if you wanted to stop yourself from having AIDS, you had to sleep with a child.
With a virgin.
Oh.
Yeah, with a virgin.
Yeah.
Like this
Boo.
is the kind of nonsense that goes around. We're in America right now, and I've told Alone in the Dark this before. I have a family member that I know who has gone to a witch doctor in the United States from Africa to go ahead and deal with some shit for her.
Nice.
Like, it's granted, it's easy for me to make fun of it, but I understand the appeal, man. When it's kind of like when you see Mormons times 1,000. These are people that have been like indoctrinated since youth. Even when they get more information, they're still in the back of their mind. It's still kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe this would work.
All right, this is about to go down a path we didn't intend.
Oh
But-
no, I know. Go ahead.
I would tell you that the only reason that anything that you just mentioned happens is because there are people out there that absolutely need something to believe in to be a good person.
True.
If they didn't need that, all these religions wouldn't exist.
I think we've talked about that before in a version, right? Alone in the Dark. Like, without Christianity, what is the excuse
Well,
for people to be good?
I don't think people realize it because, I've had, most of my family and friends are all Christians, as, practically anybody who lives in the U.S. But I don't think people have realized how terrifying they sound sometimes when they're talking about their religion. Like,
Oh,
I remember one guy, and he was a good guy, and I had to really, it took like 2 hours to wrap him back around to seeing what he said, because what he said was along the lines of atheists don't want to believe in God because they don't want to be supervised, okay? Which is, I've heard that shit before. But also, man, if God didn't exist and I was just free to do whatever I want, do you know what horrible shit I would do? I was like, that doesn't sound good. Like, the reason I don't rape people is because you're looking at me. This motherfucker, closes his eyes, man. I've got a list of bitches that are going down.
I got one even more innocuous and terrifying. I was a nice guy, used to come to the retail store and shop all the time, and always he was one of those guys that towards the end he would always push the little Christian angle, like how was your day? It was a good day. Do you know why? And I'm sitting there going, oh fuck.
Oh Jesus!
Why?
Oh,
Why?
literally Jesus!
And he would go, because Jesus died for our sins, and I'll go, amen to that, I guess, So one day he comes in with his kid, right? Nice, sweet kid, and of course he loves this kid. The interaction is beautiful, yada yada. Until he turns to me and he goes, you know why I'm so proud of my boy? And I go, why? And he's like, look at this. And he turns to his kid. He's like, hey son, like, yes pop. Who died for your sins? Jesus. And why did he die for your sins? So I can be free. Now, watching an adult tell like a 5-year-old who has no concept of what he's saying that, and him parrot it out, and watch the adult get so proud, and basically make that child want to impress him more was fucking terrifying. It was watching a serial killer train another serial killer child cannibalism. It's like why do we cut the flesh off the flesh? So that the meat is tender, Dad. You know, it's just,
I would love to take the high road on this, but hold on a second, okay?
Oh God.
Hey, get over here, boy. Hold on a second.
No, we said this before, though. You know, I honestly believe that, you know, some people need a set of moral guidelines,
Yeah.
and they don't have the concept to do it on their own.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement saying that doesn't
Yep.
mean all Christians are bad. I know tons of Christians
All right,
that are
let's see what old dude got here.
Yeah, let's see this.
Hold on. Okay? Aries, what is good in life? Louder.
To trust your enemies,
Oh, Jesus.
teach them to fool you, and hear them
I meant to the women and the.
Come here, a little louder. One more time.
What's the question?
What is good in life?
Okay.
trust your enemies, and to see them do before you, and to hear them to the woman.
There you go. Good job. Now get out of here, boy. So
What did he say?
Puppet
I
Master,
can't-
you know where that's from?
What did he say?
he
He
said
said to crush
Your
their enemies
to see them driven before you and to hear
and to hear the lament to their women. It's from Conan. It's from Conan the Barbarian.
Listen,
That's beautiful.
shit, you know?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You're completely aware of what the joke is here. You know, your kid doesn't actually. I'm gonna stop right there.
You might want to stop on that one.
I'm setting him up too beautifully. I'm gonna switch lanes. You know that you don't intend for your kid to kill anyone.
Crush, just a crush. You know?
Crushed. You know, that's a friendly way of saying hug, right?
Yeah.
I
No.
guess so. But the point is, like, this guy was entirely into it. Did the whole selling me to come to church and all that. And I've seen good Christians and I've seen bad Christians, just like I've seen like Africans that use the African culture and mysticism and spiritualism in a positive way, and I've seen Africans that use it in a negative way and like spread stories of women giving birth to slippers.
It's a clop clop.
It's just fucked up because you look at them and it's like, man, you motherfuckers already have so much to overcome. To have fuckheads make it even more difficult for you to overcome that shit.
Man, I've seen. I just typed in African woman gives birth, and
Ugh,
it pops up a 2 animal, 2 horse,
yeah.
white baby in a tree, to a worm.
Worm.
That's called an STD.
Like, it's terrible.
If you're gonna do something for worms, lady, you need to.
Now the funny part about it is, I think I know the story of the black lady giving birth to a white baby.
Yeah.
And if I
Hey,
recall,
so-
I believe she passed it off as she had a pigment issue.
Well,
Yeah. So, you know, back to your original Jonathan Esther. I don't ever ask why can't third world countries get their shit together. Because I just don't ever think about third world countries.
Fair point, man. Shit, that shit to do. I can't
That's none of my business.
Yeah. Well, I still have direct blood-related family down there, so I occasionally have to give a flying fuck.
Yeah. Oh man.
There are at least a handful of good people I know out there that are just fucked. Just fucked.
Yeah. And, you know, the funny part is there's no easy answer, and a lot of people are looking for one. You know what I mean? Like, and some lady made a good point. She was an African, I want to say scientist or something like that. But she was talking to, you know, a U.S. group, or at least a Western group, either U.S. or U.K., something like that. And what she was saying, gotta quit just throwing money at problems in Africa because it just makes things worse.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, people busted their ass to like improve infant mortality there. Well, what that caused was more people alive, which strained the resources even worse, which caused more people to die. You know, there's not a solid fucking argument, and it's hard. You know, I mean, it'd be hard even if you tell me, man, if you freaking help this baby survive, it's gonna cause somebody to starve later on. Maybe it. You know, it's like, fuck though. You know, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Well, there are two sides to my answer to this whole thing. And first is, I agree with you, and by default that means we agree with Puppet Master that this is definitely a you know, Africa needs to solve its own problem type thing. Like you can't drag a country out if the country doesn't want. We've had the same conversation about the Middle East before. You can't save a country if at its core the country doesn't want to be saved because it thinks what it's doing is right, even when it's fucked up. You got to let it realize how fucked up it is before it gets saved, right?
Yep,
so that's
I agree.
one side of the issue, and I completely lost track of the second side while explaining that one side of the issue. Oh, no. Actually, I just remembered it. Sorry, I got lost for a second. But what I was going to say is, the second thing is, when that lady was giving the speech with the whole not throwing money, that's correct. There is a solution. But it's a fucking brutal solution, which is education. It's not fucking easy, but people need to get it. It's literally the only way this can get fixed. It's literally the only way any of these fucking problems can get fixed. People need to get educated to like modern information and scientific method and all that stuff, and that's the only way to get out of it. But they have to decide they want to get out of it, like the first answer we all agreed on is.
I will have to tell you that the biggest problem with your solution is that sometimes their belief systems believe that education is the devil.
No, yeah.
And here's the funny thing:
wrong.
I've heard that shit twice. Okay, and the way it was worded is, these motherfuckers with this education is ruining everything. The two times I've heard it was number one in Iraq. Okay, and I was like, man, look at these fucking idiots. You know, they can get educated the fucking the doom and gloom. You know. The other time was when I lived in the South.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard liberal educated media.
we're not that far from. We're not as far from Africa as we like to believe. We still got people with a goofy ass. Like, I mean, there's kids dying. I mean, multiple times a year because the parents, instead of taking them to a doctor for an easily treatable disease, take them to a church and they pour oils on them and pray. And these kids die these horrific fucking deaths, you know? Like, and that's something you don't think about with little things like, diabetes, you know, like the type 1 diabetes. That's a serious illness, but for the most part in the U.S., we treat it pretty well, you know? When these kids are, their parents refuse to get them that easy fucking solution, these kids die these horrible, torturous fucking deaths, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandma, and she told us this story one time. Her dad, and I mean, to this day she's a pretty strict Catholic herself, but her dad was a really devout Catholic, and she was getting surgery for her appendix exploding. Okay, mind you, this is my grandma, so this shit was 50, 60 years ago, you know, because she was a teenager at the time. So any type of surgery that long ago was a serious shit, you know what I mean? So they're getting ready, the doctor's there, and her dad made her wait while she's withering in fucking pain, as you probably could understand there, Jonathan Esther.
Oh, hell yeah.
Until the priest showed up like 2 hours later to bless the fucking, the surgery. You know, and the doctor's just sitting there like, she could fucking die at any moment. You know, we need to do this, and the dad's like, no, we're gonna wait for the priest. So, and that shit happening to this day, you know.
Dude, when I was in boarding school in Africa, we used to, before tests, they would bring a priest in to bless all our studying utensils and our testing utensils.
Jesus.
Some shit I never. I mean, again, I was one of the weird ones who became, well, a skeptic at 10, but that's because I actually was forced to read the Bible, and I like to read. So I had questions, and all of a sudden I'm noticing adults who have been making me read this book all of a sudden don't want to answer my questions. So all of these things started getting suspect, like the priest blessing our testing utensils before we took the test, and I would go, wait, what the fuck does that do? Like, I'm lost here. Is is my studying pointless?
Here's the problem, and the problem is that education isn't education anymore, and that's where you're getting some people who are saying education is bad because even in high school, it's become more of an indoctrination than an actual education of facts and history and all. It's literally just trying to get people to believe the way you believe and not facts.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a point to it, because I remember when me and my little sister have a significant age difference. You know, it's about 8 years of that. And I remember us going to pick her up from elementary school, and there was this like thing going on about like this first grade teacher whose students were rebelling against the war in Iraq.
What?
Like writing letters to congressmen and the president begging him to stop. And, you know, a bunch of people were talking about, I'm like, there is no way
A first graders.
8-year-old came up, oh yeah, fuck that, I know war, okay, I've seen this, I know we need to stop that, you know? That was a teacher talking. Now, mind you, I agree that would have been a good idea, but the kids didn't come up with that on their own. You know, some people fucking drilled this into their head. And I could see where people get the liberal agenda, but my issue is you could watch. I mean, if you look at Texas is really important for school bugs. That's why you hear people talk about it a lot. Like, you know, New Texas School Bug says this. The reason Texas is important for school bugs is because of some way the situation is built. They have like first strike at buying school books. Now, whatever they buy gets spread through a good portion of the U.S. Okay, these new school books are going through the New Age beliefs about the Civil War, which is it had nothing to do with slavery. There was like no talks of KKK or white supremacist groups during the Civil Rights era. I mean, they made slavery look like it was, it was just bad working conditions, you know? And people are freaking out because we know that that's factually incorrect, but the people who make these decisions are all elected officials in Texas. So it's not surprising what they believe. And it does flip to the other side, you know? Like if you've been to college, you've probably had some significantly liberal teachers who spend a good amount of time selling that shit, you know?
I will tell you that my college experience, over 50% of the students in that school came out still dumb as rocks.
Yeah.
I believe that in a heartbeat, yeah.
So I understand the issue, you know, but the answer to that is don't educate, you know? And that's where
I agree.
Kind of take that angle, you know?
Yeah, it's. I'll say this, man. I've met homeschooled, and it is rarely a positive experience.
You need I don't know who did it, and it really depends. Like,
and that's why I'm saying it's rarely. There's some.
I don't know. I've only met one that had a really fucked up sense of beliefs in education. The rest of them turned out to be really smart individuals and did really well. So
I had a friend. I mean, she's a really intelligent woman, and she posted something about this kid who was being homeschooled, and his parents were like starving this kid to death, and there was no outside eyes because the kid was homeschooled. You know, his parents were the only ones around him, and the kid was being fucking starved. My issue is I'm sure there's bad shit that's happening in homeschool, but it's not really all that hard to beat your kid and send him to public school. Okay. There was a big
Your poor kids.
there was a big issue in Tennessee.
Now get on the bus.
Little boys who were getting their ass whooped, and like several other parents were like bringing it to the school, like, you guys need to do something. These kids are constantly showing up with bruises. You know, my son said that he was told, you know, the kid told him that he's getting his ass kicked at home. The schools did absolutely nothing until finally both those, or one of the kids were beaten so severely, one died and the other was like in critical condition. And I mean, you know, the kids, you know, then they look in the history and the kids were showing up with like a broken collarbone to school and nobody's saying nothing. You know?
God
So I understand the idea, but if you look at the stats, homeschooling versus, I mean, public education and even a lot of private education, the kids were all scoring way fucking higher on standardized testing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and even me, because I was homeschooled for 2 years, and my parents didn't do it for a, man, I don't like fucking public schools, so I'm gonna do it. They did it because we were moving around a lot and it was hard to stay in a school district, you know?
Yeah.
So for like 2 years they pulled me out. My mom didn't really give a shit about my education, and still when I went in to take my testing, I was way ahead of everybody. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's hard for me to call. I mean, I totally understand where people are coming from, that it's dangerous leaving kids completely out of outside eye, leaving that option open.
Yeah.
Hey, let's
Well, you know,
let's
I-
go in and talk to these.
No, the homeschool kids I ran into were brilliant kids, but like
socially awkward.
social, not even awkward is not the word. You know what I mean?
Inept.
And I'm saying,
Intrepid.
Intrepid. Socially intrepid. I think you wanna go,
I'm sorry, I had to, man.
I think you want to go with inept, man.
No, I know. I said that first. I had to throw it in there. I had to throw it there for you. But let's talk about beating kids real quick.
I segue.
Hey, so understand that my kids take after their mother, and they are the biggest klutzes in the world. They walk into walls, and they trip over nothing. You would think, if you didn't know that my kids were like that, you would think I beat my kids. You probably think I beat my wife if you didn't know me. But
Wait, what?
yes.
I debated with myself, like, is that joke even worth actually saying?
But no, like they're klutzes. So yeah, I could see where some school districts might be a little hesitant to press that issue, and why you could get away with it in an actual school setting instead of a homeschool setting as well. So I don't see that as being a deterrent.
Well, then you also have the issue of, like, then you have other people telling you, because you've seen the parents that are anti-beating.
Yeah.
You've also seen their kids.
Yeah. But
Now-
I don't tell my kids no, parents. I love
Yeah, exactly. Then you run into those people saying, "Well, I don't think it's right that you do that." Well, yeah, bitch, I can tell. I see your kids. You didn't have to tell me that. Your kids told me that. Look at that one. That one he's setting the freaking liquor side of Walmart on fire. Yes, he's a problem. Now you have those parents kind of interfering into, like, how you discipline. It's like you said, there are no easy answers, man. It's a finicky area. I've always been of the mentality that, and again, this is very puppet master territory, that the community should decide where it stands as a community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you move into a community where they're anti-beating their children completely or saying no to their children, then maybe it's up to you to get out that community if you don't like that idea. If not, you might have to go with the community.
You might just make me believe in Jesus right now.
My issue is really tied back to majority rule, you know, and
Yeah.
the U.S. has been pretty against that since our creation. You know,
Yeah.
we've stated several times that majority rule, just because you're the majority, that doesn't mean that you get to fucking tell everybody else what to do, and people don't have to abide by your bullshit. Is it easier? Yeah, it is. If you're gonna move into, especially some fucking places with these crazy ass parents, it would make your life easier. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I could sign off on. Yeah, well, everybody else is doing it, so you should too. Well, fuck those people. Most kids are fucked up. Most kids I meet, I can't fucking stand. Okay, like. That's just the truth. When I was at the grocery store today, they asked me, "Do you want to deposit $2 to kids' fucking fund?" No, I don't even like kids. I'm not gonna deposit $2. But you can give me that $2 candy bar right there, and I'll walk out with it.
All right, but go ahead. Sorry,
I think the majority fuck up. Majority of people are fucking up either their marriages, their kids, their careers, their lives. Siding with them because they're all doing it is kind of a bad idea in my opinion. You know what I mean?
You know how I pick where I live? I walk around and knock on doors to see how many people in the neighborhood are actively drunk at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's the place I want to live.
Margaritaville, baby. But
if you're not a day drinker, you're not my friend.
but again, you guys are a little bit of a different breed. Let's be honest, right? You guys,
Right.
no, let's be on the real. Like, you guys, compared to most people around you, are the type of people that, one, are already the word ain't antisocial. You don't go with the group. You're not rebels. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Whatever. You guys don't conform easy, right?
Oh no, nope.
You guys just have to be part of it. But on top of that, not only do you not conform easy, you guys are pretty adept at language. You guys are great speakers. Despite any differences we might have, you guys are amazing speakers. So you guys are easily able to defend yourselves, even if a crowd of motherfuckers come and talk to you. I've seen both of you in situations where you were the minority in that crowd, and you held up very well defending your points. That's not everybody. Hell, that's not most people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fucked up situation when I say community, when I say stuff like I think it should be community rule, I'm thinking about people that might be in a position where it's kind of like, hey, we disagree with this and we don't have the option to get out of here, but if we're going to live comfortably in this neighborhood, we're going to have to give a little. It's a terrible example. The Crapped website had an article by a guy who was raised by racists, and he was talking about how modern racists operate. And one of the stories he said was, in his community, all the white people were racist. They made racist jokes all the time behind closed door. Even though his family had 5 black friends, they made racist jokes behind closed door all the time. And he was like, he didn't realize he had a problem with that until he was in a ballpark and a black girl was walking by and his uncle and his dad were with him, and his uncle made a racist joke and they all chuckled, and then he made the joke louder so the girl could hear. She tucked her head down and walked away while his uncle stood up and yelled at him loud enough so that the girl could hear him criticizing him. And that was his first moment going, what the fuck? Now, I'm not advocating for racism, but I'm saying when he's telling his story, he's saying he lived in a community of racists, right? And him, until he moved out of there, had to play that game.
Yeah, see, I don't play that game. I don't play any game. You know what? Worse about me is that I tend to change people in my neighborhood and bend them to my will.
I'm not gonna lie. Between you and fucking Superwife, there, they don't really stand a chance.
Yeah.
Like, what are they? Their wives gonna outcook yours, or outclean, or outmake things? Like, what the fuck can your wife not do?
I mean, they sure as hell can't outdrink her.
Yeah, again, what the fuck can't she do? Like, my wife had sat here in this house and been like, oh yeah, no, fuck his wife. You're not expecting that kind of shit from me.
Time to trade up, man.
Yeah, fucking for real. For real. Where my bitches?
Oh man, I can't believe we went that long and that topic strayed so many directions.
It did. It did. All from Africa go in many directions.
Yeah, dude. You can't get away from these people.
Sure the fuck can't. All right, should we go on to the next topic or should we start wrapping up? We could postpone that one more week.
I mean, it's okay.
Well, we started 15 minutes late right now, so we still got a 20-minute leeway.
Yeah, let's do it. What was the other? Was it the?
The secondary topic was the question, and any of you guys can pick up. We're of course talking about famous now Katie Davis. Is it Katie?
Kim Davis.
Kim Davis. Thank you. All right. Famous Kim Davis, who felt it was not her God-given right to let homosexuals legally be allowed to be married, even though legally they're allowed to be married. The story has gone viral. Yada 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 yada. Anyway, so the question was simple. Is there a point, because originally the question was going to be, is there a point where religion shouldn't interfere with your duties? But I think that's really easy to answer. I think the harder question is there a point where your duties shouldn't interfere with your beliefs? Like, let's say you have a job. Is there a point where your belief, where would you guys start stepping out and saying, no, this is what I believe, and be willing to risk your job for that?
All right, I'll go real quick. Anytime you are in a position where you are civil service of some sort, your beliefs mean absolutely dick. All right? You took that position, that job, you were elected, whatever it may be, you're getting paid to do the work of the community, not your church. Shut the hell up and do your damn job. If you're not, get the fuck out of there. That's not, if you can't handle doing what you're paid to do, you don't belong there. That's simple.
All right, that was quick. Alone in the dark?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is people aren't really, like, everybody loves that shit, being able to get out of something due to your religion, this and that, and I'm not pinning on one religion. Everybody loves their little part of that until it's somebody else's shit, okay? Like, the whole, and I saw this a lot when I lived in the South, the whole, man, it's freedom of religion, you get out of our shit, you can't tell our churches what to do, this is how the country's built, blah, blah, blah. That was all well and good up until some fucking Islamic thing tried to build a fucking mosque around. And then all of a sudden, fuck freedom of religion, you guys need to get the fuck out of my shit. That's kind of and I agree with the Puppet Master. When you take on these positions, you're doing it as good faith to all of your citizens. Okay? Not just the ones you agree with, but everybody. And, it's not just Kim Davis's issue. I think Obama has that issue. I think Bush had that issue. I think practically every fucking presidential nominee we have right now, where they only give a shit about the people on their side. And that's not how this shit was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, if you look back, there was, it's up for debate quite a bit, but there was some seriously religious people among our founding fathers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to build a theocracy where, hey, Christian is the fucking the religion of the country, they had every fucking chance to. They didn't, because they didn't want to take more power from the people because they were going to hand that shit off to the next person. You don't know what this guy's going to believe. Maybe this guy's a different flavor of Christian than you. Maybe he's a totally different religion than you. So you don't want to give the next guy the power that you're asking for. The more power you pull to yourself is the more shit that...
it's more power you have to give up when your term's done.
Yeah. And that's what the Kim Davises of the world aren't understanding. What happens if it's a different type of... What if it's a Mormon? And, I give a hard time to Mormons just because you guys kind of deserve it. You guys have always been really polite and kind and everything like that. So, but it's not too long ago that according to Mormons, black people weren't real freaking people. They were cursed a lot. Oh, you couldn't be in our church, this and that. What if you have some old school Mormon takes off his necks and he doesn't want to let black people marry white people? Is that his right now? I mean, if we're just tying this shit to beliefs, because mind you, nothing in the Bible says that you have to do everything in your power to stop a gay marriage. It says, I mean, that doesn't really say outright, but it alludes to the fact you motherfucker don't do it. But it says nothing, and then you need to take up arms. You need to use whatever power you can and stop other people from doing it. No, the Bible and practically all religions is about what you should fucking do, not everybody else. So this part of Kim Davis's religion, she's making up on the fly. That I can't do this, I'll get sent to hell. Show me the Bible verse that says you'll get sent to hell for allowing other people to commit a sin.
Yeah.
There's none, Your sins are your own. Other people's sins are their own. You don't get sent to hell because you didn't prevent somebody else from committing a sin. There's nothing in the Bible that says that. So she's making this shit up right now with no basis to do what she wants to do, which means the next person, it could not even be part of their religion, okay? It could be some freaking Muslim guy who comes in there and goes, yeah, I freaking decided that my religion says that fat women can't get married until they're at least a size 3. Or at most a size 3. Yeah, that's not in his religion at all, but, I mean, he's just saying that's his belief. Why not go with it? That was an issue with the Hobby Lobby thing, okay? They said it's our belief that this is causing abortions, even though it doesn't, okay? The things that they were fighting against don't cause abortions, okay? They decided, yeah, I know scientifically and factually this doesn't happen, but I'm still going to fight against that, even though there's nothing to say that this is really what's going on. So right now they're living in a world where they want to be able to make up shit as they go along, tacking it on as part of their religion, and then saying that you have to abide by that, which is all well and good until it's somebody else who gets to do the same fucking thing,
All right, so let me throw something out there the wife threw at me after I said that about Kim Davis. That's her name, right? Kim Davis?
Yeah.
Yep.
She was like, well, what about the, the baker? Do you want to make the cake for the gay couple? I said, well, I see where you're going with that, and I think that it's not the same. And you guys may disagree with me, but it's not. That's her personal business. She's not a civil servant. She has the right to say, I don't want to do this. Just don't be a patron to that business. I mean, they will suffer in the process. I mean, that's just what it is. I don't think they're even the same. So some people might see that as an equivalent, and I don't. And that's where some people, I've seen arguments where people are like, well, you let them do this, and you let these guys do this.
No. She was an elected official that uphold the law. That was a private business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is the easiest. I don't even know how that becomes a debate with people, because I'm always like, it's two completely different things we're talking about here.
Right, and when I stated that to the wife, she was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. I agree. I don't know where that came from.
Now, so that follows up my next question, which is, we're gonna play be in Kim Davis' shoes. So
Shoot
you're
yourself.
Kim Davis. Oh my God, that's terrible. Okay, so you're Kim Davis, right? What does it take for you as Mrs. Kim Davis? Where would you draw the line? Where would you have a scenario where your belief, we're not saying you guys are Christian, we're just saying your belief at the time basically stops you from finishing your task. What would it take for you guys to put, as an elected official or in an elected position, to put your beliefs before the law?
I can't even.
When you take that position, like you
That's
both
what I'm saying,
know
right?
I'm already in that position. So
Well, we're assuming you're in Kim Davis's position.
but yeah, that I already have that issue.
Oh.
So I already know exactly how that is. And you take that oath, you take that position, that's where the line stops. Nothing in your personal beliefs have any effect on your job at that point when you are a civil service.
And here's
That's
the
it.
issue, which is all these, and this kind of wraps back to my mom. If you don't think I have issues, mother issues.
I think all of us have already admitted we have parental issues.
But I noticed with my mom, she had a number of, like, she's claustrophobic and shit like that. Every issue she had benefited her. I'm claustrophobic, so I can't ride in the back seat. I get shotgun every time. Okay? I'm claustrophobic, so I need the good seats in the airplane so I can stretch out my legs. And that's kind of the same thing that a lot of people are expecting. Like Kim Davis, I'm religious, so I'm not going to do my job, and you guys just have to continue paying me because that's what I decided. No, the way your beliefs need to work is you need to take the sacrifice.
Yep.
If you don't want to do it, all Kim Davis said, and I would have totally respected her if she said, you know what, I don't agree with this shit. It's against my religion and my beliefs, so I'm stepping down.
I'm going to resign. Yeah, absolutely.
An $80,000 a year job that I got from my mom. That was cute, too. And
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away because that's what's good for my conscience. That's being honorable. That's being true to your beliefs and taking the hit to stay to your beliefs, So that's kind of my point. Everybody wants their issues to benefit them. The whole Hobby Lobby thing. Hey, yeah, we don't agree with this shit, and on the off chance we're gonna save some money in the fucking long run that we can go invest into a freaking pharmaceutical companies that make these drugs. Everybody wants their belief to benefit, and that's not how it works. That's not even how your religion works. I mean, most Abrahamic religions want you to sacrifice for your beliefs, not for you to fucking make out and fucking get better, not have to do your job and sit around in your fucking office. Because remember, she wasn't just not issuing licenses to gay couples. She wasn't issuing licenses to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
She completely stopped doing her job that she was being paid. She didn't stop being paid. She didn't say, hey, yeah, you might as well cut my fucking paycheck right now because I'm not going to do this shit. No, she still wanted her paycheck to not do a job. That's where my issue is. If you're taking a sacrifice for your beliefs, even if I don't agree with your beliefs, even if I think they're silly, I respect your position. You freaking really stood up and stayed strong and sacrificed yourself to abide by what you want to do,
Yep.
But when you want special privileges and if you want to freaking get away with shit that normal people wouldn't get away with because of your beliefs, you fucking gone down the wrong path,
All right. So basically, the answer from both of you guys is there is no point in your belief that would stop you from doing your job if you're an elected official.
No, it might stop me from doing my job, but what that means is I leave my job.
Gotcha.
Right.
I'm going to sit there at my desk and collect a paycheck,
Gotcha. All right, that makes more sense.
And if it's against my moral fiber, my moral guidelines that I believe, that's when I quit the job. I'm done.
And right now, I actually went through a little bit because I got offered a significant amount of money to go to a job that I used to do, but I didn't want to do it. To me, it felt morally wrong. You know what I mean? The way that the business operated, I just didn't agree with. After being in it for a while and really seeing the effects, I didn't agree with it. So instead of me taking the job and then telling this company, yeah, I don't agree with how you guys do business, so I'm going to do this shit my own way, I said no. I called them and told them no. I can't take it. I'm not going to work out for you guys. This just isn't my business anymore,
Gotcha.
To me, that's how things should work. And that's the respectable way to fucking go about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, there's your answer.
Yeah, that
Jonathan.
answers that question quite easily. Now, before we go and we hit these parting shots, I wanted to show you guys something fascinating I found in this Kim Davis story. I give you guys, I don't know if you guys can see there, he graduated magna cum laude from Ouachita Baptist University, completing his bachelor's in religion.
Who is this?
Well, let's pull the curtain back and reveal the person now. Why don't we?
Huckabee? Oh yeah, Huckabee.
Indeed. Mike
Okay.
Huckabee. I just thought it was interesting that oh wow, that just got crazy. I just thought it was interesting as I was going through his very doctored Wikipedia page, I must say. It's beautiful. Now, I'm not saying that I've ever seen a candidate's page not be
I mean,
doctored.
are you kidding me? Have you looked up Hillary?
Yeah, that's
she's got a guy specifically dedicated to cleaning shit off that page that he does not feel is appropriate.
That I'm starting to feel they all do, because I took a gander at a couple of politicians and I was like, this is too clean, or here's another one I noticed that was always very fun for me. I don't know if you noticed that every picture is taken from a lower perspective.
To make them look taller?
Yeah.
More authority?
It's more authority, the more authority thing. Like almost everyone, except for that one.
God, look at that face.
It's so relatable. But I just thought...
A face a mother could love.
I just thought it was interesting that we're talking about this religion talk, and the one guy that sided with Kim, who happens to be running for president, has a degree in religion. So it brings me back to that whole, elected officials making choices based on religion and not the law.
Now, we were talking about it earlier. The guy has a long track record of doing this shit. Like, we were talking about specifically one. And here's the thing. I was talking to Mrs. Alone in the Dark about it. That whole, oh man, I forgot the girl's name. That whole thing I was bringing up where he let a fucking convicted rapist out of jail on the account of, he's a born-again Christian now. And then that guy went and raped and killed 2 other women, one of them pregnant. Well, the curious thing for me is, what about, because mind you, Huckabee said that he got at least 1,000 to 1,200 requests for clemency every year, and he was there for 10 years, okay? So 10 to 10,000 requests for clemency. Why did this guy, mind you, this character here had been charged with murder years prior, okay? He did commit the murder, and the way he didn't go to jail for it is he turned on his other friends and helped him with it. Him and 2 other guys beat a guy to death with fucking hammers, and he turned on his friends to stay out of jail, okay? He was accused of rape and child molesting twice prior to when he raped the girl he went to jail for. Raped the girl he went to jail for and was put in jail for decades, you know what I mean? Then Huckabee decides, you know what? I really need to take time out of my day to go save this guy, right? Why? Why this fucking guy was my question, This is all conjecture on my part, but that girl that he was actually convicted of raping was a relative, or like a distant cousin of Bill Clinton. Okay? That's, now to me...
You're getting into some territory there, buddy.
I don't want to say that this is outright, but all of a sudden a bunch of people who never really give a shit about prisoner rights in the first place suddenly cared about this guy's rights and due process and shit like that. Okay? It almost feels like to me that the reason Mike Huckabee decided to release this convicted rapist, known murderer, etc., despite the loud protest of his victims and his victims' family, was to go, fuck you, Bill Clinton, this guy raped your cousin and I let him out. And this guy has been...
That's a reach, but...
This guy's been... Well, I mean, it is a reach, and, at the end of the day, maybe it became notorious throughout, because it's proven, after this guy went to jail, a bunch of conservative freaking speakers, church officials, radio personalities, took this guy's case up and said that he was totally innocent, and for some reason Bill Clinton decided to target him and throw him in jail. Okay? So maybe that's why it was thrown above the other 12,000 fucking people, And Huckabee did grant clemency a lot. Like, I think he granted clemency to like 3 times the amount of prisoners that his predecessor did. Okay? Now, I don't know if there was a difference in time. Maybe one. Huckabee was, I think, governor for like 10 years at least. So maybe the other guy was only governor. I didn't look at the actual percentages.
Right.
But to pick this guy single him out. This guy was refused parole repeatedly, okay, because they said he was still a danger to society, still had violent tendencies, this and that. To go pull him out of jail, to break a sweat as a governor, to go save this guy, and mind you, that's risking Huckabee's name, okay, to get this guy out of jail. Then this guy goes, and within 18 months, had raped and killed 2 women. So, this is the guy who's like being touted as the religious conscience of the freaking Republican Party. You know?
But that's where they're fucking up. There should be no mention of religion in your political candidates. That is a problem. That's a problem. I mean, but we need to wrap this up. I gotta get going, and you know we don't want to keep dragging this dead and beating horses. And
I was about to say, are you hearing the CIA out your window?
Yeah, and don't want some goat to steal my dick.
Some goat creeping up outside.
Don't you make fun of dick stealing goats. All right, man. Let's wrap this up. Any parting shots, guys?
Look, Ken Davis. You need to have a reckoning with your own God, because I don't think you listen to him. Africa, I'm sorry, I don't pay enough attention to you. I promise you, I still won't. And good luck. And I really hope you get a Fox News soon. I really do.
Ah, damn! Don't wish that on us.
Did you guys hear Robert Murdoch bought National Geographic?
No.
I think that literally went down today. So
Jesus.
we're gonna see that. I just hope those big floppy African tits stay on the fucking cover, That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah. All right. And I got nothing, man. Yeah. Just you did me in with those last 2. I'm done. That'll be it. I've been your host, Jonathan Esther.
Yeah, this Alone in the Dark, as usual.
And this is Puppet Master. Peace, yo.
All right. Later.